I always loved wine. My dad had a great wine cellar. My parents were totally into wine, and they were kind of foodies before that was a concept or a word. So every night they had wine on the table. So anyways, it just made me think a lot and think about my interests, which were travel, writing, being outdoors, wine. When I was sort of thinking about what careers I wanted to do, I almost went into geology. I collected rocks as a kid. I collected rocks and wine bottles. I don't know if that's like any indication of what I would end up doing, but I think if I'd had the crystal ball then, I would have known. So when I go and I look at vineyards, it has to be a vineyard that I'm super excited about. I've had a few vineyards that have surprised me, but for the most part, if I leave the vineyard and I'm not excited, I'm not really gonna want to make wine from there. So I can get a really good sense of what the vineyard's gonna make just from visiting. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for. A lot of what I do is single vineyard wines, and so that vineyard needs to have a voice, and it needs to have, you know, when you smell it and when you taste it, a hallmark that's that site and that makes you think of that site, and something that's an imprint that you're going to get, even though it's going to change every year because every vintage is different. Wine is people, wine is places, wine is really the vineyard first and foremost. I love details, and so the more details, the better. And for wine, something like that, I mean, you're dealing with Mother Nature. There's so many, it's just endless. Wine has to have a story, and so the story is the place and the people and the vintage and everything that goes into that bottle. And if it doesn't have that, it's really boring. It's really just not interesting, and then it's just another wine.